Hey guys, welcome back to another Ready Set Crypto video. So some of our picks lately have been doing pretty awesome. For example, I told you about Deep Brain Chain before just about anyone else on YouTube at about 8 cents, and now it's at about 60. It's a great project. It has some awesome direction and price movement. And if you feel like you've missed out, I recently came across another project in AI blockchain called Matrix. And I'll warn you, there isn't a lot of information out right now. They just had their pre-ICO today and it sold out pretty much immediately, which is a great sign. Definitely do as much research as you can if you want to participate in their ICO, and hopefully it will make you some very nice returns. I've been talking about Substratum for a long time now. I went to their holiday party in December and I got to meet the team and even hang out with DataDash. Super bullish on them, and had you got in when I first started talking about them, you would have had some nice 30 times returns. Yeah, pretty comfy. We believe that Substratum is in the right place at the right time with all the ongoing discussion centered around net neutrality and internet censorship going on right now. 2018 is going to be a great year for Substratum, and there's definitely still time to get on board. And guys, how about Neo? I released my video on it right around $100 a couple days ago, and since then we've seen it testing about 130. And you know, that's awesome. In yesterday's sea of red, it was one of the only green coins out there, which goes to show you just how solid a project it is. Keep holding on to it, and don't forget that you get gas dividends, even if you're keeping it on Binance. Binance distributes gas out on the first of the month, which is when you should not sell your gas if that's your strategy. Wait until at least a week has passed, because otherwise you'll be selling when everyone else is. But if you plan on holding it, gas has had a great run so far, and we will continue to see it rise as it chases Neo. Doc is going to cover some technical analysis on Neo and Aetherium later on in this video, so definitely look forward to that. All right, so let's talk about some new coins we've got on our radar. Okay, so first up we have Dent. Dent has had a great run up, and we're really interested in how much further it can go. So what exactly is Dent? So if you've ever had leftover minutes or data on your phone, you know the pains of letting that data go to waste. With Dent, you can actually sell that data or those minutes. If you're a US viewer, this might not seem like such a big deal with all the unlimited data plans out there, but for people who travel or who just have leftover data at the end of the day, it really is a godsend. Imagine the hassle it'll save when you're going on a trip, because instead of going through, buying a temporary international plan or getting a burner phone, you could just use the same phone you already have and just buy the data or minutes off someone using Dent. Before you go on shouting that big telephone companies would never let this happen, Dent already has partnerships with AT&T, Verizon, and other massive global telephone providers. Look at their website. They already have a working app on the iOS store and are scheduled to release their Android app this year, so that will be huge. Their team is composed of really talented developers, their white paper is really detailed and technical, their roadmap is already laid out, and the best part is they are 100% on track with it. For those worried about Dent's market cap, here's the kicker. The coins are burned once they are used by paying for data or minutes. They can't be withdrawn from the app. You can invest in Dent on KuCoin. Check the description for a referral. And if you feel like rank 40 something is too far up the ladder, then check out QLink, which is essentially the Chinese version of Dent. It's also on KuCoin. So another one we've been watching in our private portfolio is Dragon Chain. Dragon is certainly an interesting player in the enterprise service space, which we believe to be mostly untapped for blockchain. I think some people get hung up on how Dragon is an ERC20 coin, but Dragon is hosting non-ERC20 ICOs. To explain what Dragon is simply, just think of what Aetherium would be with a membership bonus on all ICOs. You can hide business logic in private sidechains. Not every company wants their information publicly available. Dragon Chain offers the market turnkey software, so companies don't need to hire as many developers, but instead can use pre-made modules. This will definitely lead to increased utilization of blockchain tech through using Dragon Chain. If the company uses Dragon Chain to host their ICO, and if you hold Dragon, you get to get into that ICO for a discount. Plus, the ICOs should be available to all US citizens. While we don't believe it can currently compete with Aetherium or Neo or Icon, we definitely are watching this one. Expect it to break into the top 25 easily. You can buy Dragon on KuCoin. Again, check the description for a referral link.
From the Disney team that released Dragon Chain open source comes the Dragon Chain commercial platform and Incubator. First, let's look at the Dragon Chain platform that focuses on protection of business assets. It's a turnkey and scalable environment using a serverless architecture that empowers smart contract developers to use established programming languages such as Java, Python, Node, and C#. In addition, all smart contracts have full access to Amazon AWS services and capabilities. Next, let's look at the Dragon Chain Incubator that standardizes the process to launch a blockchain project. It provides early access to exciting projects and is scaled by active crowd participation. Now let's look at the Dragon Chain Marketplace, an ecosystem of verified subject matter experts across disciplines such as crypto, marketing, legal, software development, and recruiting. Also included in the marketplace are libraries of pre-built smart contracts monetized by developers for reuse. Finally, the Dragon, a tokenized microlicense to access all services across the Dragon Chain platform and ecosystem designed for blockchain business magic.
So next up on our list is Oyster Pearl. If you haven't researched Oyster Pearl yet, I highly recommend you take a look. It takes a creative approach to solving a difficult problem. Oyster Pearl allows websites to generate income instead of using advertisements. No one likes ads. They're tacky, annoy the customer, and reduce traffic. Furthermore, ad blockers are getting more popular and smarter and make it tough for smaller websites to survive on ad revenue alone. So this is where Oyster Pearl comes in, which will allow website visitors to dedicate a small portion of their CPU or GPU power to view a website ad-free. Companies spend $500 billion a year on advertisements and billions in hardware for cloud computing servers. The Oyster protocol has the ability to disrupt both of these industries. So how do you value a company such as Oyster Pearl? There's no other projects out there that take the double-sided approach that Oyster protocol does. Cyancoin is currently valued at $2.4 billion, and BAT is currently valued at $940 million. So combined, that's a total of around $3.5 billion. That's about 30 times the current market cap of Oyster Pearl. Certainly it's not guaranteed, but we think they've got a really compelling idea. We love disruption potential, and this one has a lot of it.
Advertising is the most common way of content monetization, but also the most vulnerable. Half of users block ads, and the other half stop noticing them. At the same time, today we do not have a simple yet anonymous file storage system. So, we invented Oyster to address both problems. Oyster lets websites receive revenue from traffic using the user's hardware capacities. In order for the system to work, you need to add just one line of HTML code into your website. Now the devices will be used to authenticate the right to upload data to a decentralized storage ledger. Let's consider this case. Steve spends 1 Oyster Pearl to store 1 gigabyte of data. Bill visits a site and his device searches for Steve's Pearl, thereby committing Steve's data to the decentralized ledger. Searching for pearls means performing useful tasks for authenticating transactions. Other blockchain systems reward pearl divers for that, but Oyster gives this money back to the website. This setup makes all the involved parties economically interested in the process and eliminates the notorious ads. Therefore, Oyster is the new paradigm of the internet economy.
So our last coin today is ELF. Based in Singapore, ELF is a cross-chain blockchain protocol that intends to become the new internet infrastructure to support the next generation of digital businesses. The team and its advisors have been advising numerous blockchain projects in the past, and they see a few industries who could be early adopters of ELF: financial services, insurance, digital identity and IPs, smart city, and IoT. ELF will actively identify new business opportunities and decentralized apps or dApps to be part of the ELF ecosystem. They plan to interoperate with existing dApps on existing chains, nurture new startup ideas, educate and transform established companies to be blockchain savvy. When it comes down to it, as a third generation blockchain, ELF strives to provide a breakthrough in 3 critical areas: performance, resource segregation, and governance structure. This is almost like Singapore's version of Icon. This project is barely on anyone's radar right now, and it will soon be a top 20 coin easily if they can offer services as compelling as Icon's. Seriously, give this one a look. It's primed to be great in 2018. You can invest in ELF on Binance, which has recently opened up to registration again, but you still might have problems. Be sure to use our referral link in the description. All right, as promised, I'll turn it over to Doc for some excellent technical analysis in today's Market Minute.
Hey guys, this is Doc for Ready Set Crypto. Yesterday we talked about NEO, and how NEO was in a consolidation pattern. And I did talk about what I said was for the traders out there to look for a swing test. So with a price in this little pennant pattern, I said what's going to happen more than likely is that we're going to see some type of swing test that's going to come down into this confluence of support, which is this support level, which was the previous high, and down here into this area here. And this is about what we got. That's about all you get sometimes, is just a test from above to give it a kind of a kiss goodbye to that trend line before it's off and running again. You can see that today alone we've gone, well, since yesterday afternoon, we've gone from about 85 on NEO versus US dollar up to about, it's gone through about $130. Now, this is the frustrating thing about markets for most people, is that when the price is going down like this, everybody is getting, you know, all excited and sad and going, oh no, it's coming down. I should stand to the sidelines and wait to see what happens to this. And those that wait and wait for the perfect buy point rarely will get it. So what happens is, for most retail traders, they're going to look at something like this with a big explosion today, and they're going to say, oh, well, this is great because this really feels good, so I should jump on board this thing right now. Well, I would say be careful of that. And this is where, again, I use the chop index down here with a period of about 14 usually is a really good, it's just the default chop index that's available on TradingView here. And typically what happens is when we get down below a level of 38 on the chop index, that trend is usually just about done. So you can think of this as an analogy of if you're climbing a mountain, right? You don't just run up the side of a mountain all the way and then summit in the first day. Well, most people don't. What most people have to do is they have to go up to a certain level and then maybe rest for a while. If you think of Everest, there's a base camp. The first base camp at Everest, you're going to spend perhaps a week there just to acclimate yourself to the lack of oxygen. Then you're going to climb for a while until you get to base camp number 2. You're going to stay there for a while as well too. Isn't this the same way that price charts are moving? And this happens whether or not this asset is in the stock market or in the crypto market. And actually what I find is that the crypto market charts are much cleaner because we don't have the distortion from central bank interference. So I'm going to throw you a little concept here, and I want you to remember this, is that the best entries that you will ever make are the ones that feel the worst to enter. So the worst feeling entry was the one that was down here while the price was selling off, right? That was the worst feeling entry that you could possibly take. However, that was the best possible entry for this. And the converse of that is the best feeling entries that you take are typically the ones where you're chasing after something. It feels good because you want to join that ride to the upside, but those are typically the ones where you find a couple of days later, wow, why did I chase that entry? And I'll extend this point by looking over here at Aetherium. So Aetherium is being charted versus the US dollar here on Bitfinex. And from the same type of consolidation pennant that we had on NEO. So this one's interesting because this shows a couple of different consolidation areas here. So Aetherium, this is the end of December or so, the end of November, mid-December showed a horizontal box pattern, right? So very typical consolidation. Then it pulled into another pennant, just like everything else did, as we got into January. Right? But since January, what we've seen is that this is broken out of there. Remember, from all this energy, when you have a high level on the chop index, this is where we have the spring being wound up, all that potential energy is getting ready to explode from there. Same thing happened here in the box consolidation, right? As the pennant, all that energy gets wound up, getting ready to go. It's like holding a wound up spring in your hand. There's only so long you can hold it until it comes flying out of there with all that energy. And this is exactly what's happened. Now, think about that. That wasn't a particularly good feeling entry for this, right? So you're going, well, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like a good entry for this trade, but it was terrific, right? So now everybody's all happy with Aetherium and saying, oh, I should chase after this one. Well, be careful, because this is typically where Ethereum will go into the next consolidation. So what I would expect to see from Ethereum in the near future is it pull into the next consolidation, whatever that ends up looking like. It can go into a box consolidation, it can go into a flag, a pennant, any number of chart patterns which really signify the next rest area for this price asset. Just remember, folks, the best entries that you'll ever make are the ones that feel the worst. The worst entries that you will make are the ones where you're chasing after the herd, trying to join the herd, and you're going to find out that you'll probably end up entering the middle of a consolidation, or you'll actually see the price pull back right after you enter.
So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button so you can continue to see high quality crypto analysis. And don't forget to hit the bell next to the subscribe button to be notified when we put out new videos. Additionally, check out the description for a link to our daily newsletter. And pretty soon here, we're going to be offering a paid advisory newsletter, which will give you insight to the private collection of coins that we're looking at, some things we're watching, and many more premium features for our paid subscribers. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.